So the agenda today, we'll be talking about version 1.1.0, the key features of the Explore 5 and 8, and we will have a little hands-on refresher course for the Explore 8. And I'm going to show you how to update the devices that your clients or your customers have already in the field. And I'd like to hear what about your stories, what you think about the Explore 8. So the product line, just a refresher, what we have, the Explore 3, the Explore 5, and the Explore 8. So we have a 3-inch, a 5-inch, and an 8-inch. What's new in version 1.1.0? We have worked a lot on image quality for the Explore 5. So the first thing we did is that we increased the intensity of the lights on the Explore 5, and we noticed a better image quality. We also reduce the effect of lens shading. A lens shade, meaning that there's going to be a better luminosity on the edges of the image. We also improve the exposure of the color exposure to get more details on the image. And also we have a more uniform colors when looking at the screen at an angle. This is for Explore 5. What's new in 1.1 for Explore 8? We have increased the letter's edge contrast at high magnification, so meaning that we have a better image quality at high magnification when you're in contrast. We reduce the dragging effect that we had while moving on a contrast text. We have now a better autofocus, which for the distance viewing camera, we're offering now the manual and the auto modes in the menu. We'll go through it later. Less refocusing when you're in auto mode for the distance viewing camera. We have now a touch to focus feature in the distance viewing in the manual mode, meaning that you can touch where in the image you'd like to have the focus, you'd like to have the camera focus. And we also have the possibility now to turn on or off the lights in distance viewing in Explore 8. And all these modifications or improvements were done because of customer feedback by you guys, and we listened and we tried to improve the product for you guys. A little run through the key features of the Explore 5, a very portable device, the lightest and the smallest on the 5-inch market, only 0.5 pounds, 228 grams. There's 3 positions for the stand, closed, reading, and the handle. The best image quality, meaning that we do image perspective correction, so the text is always straight on the on your screen. Quick startup time, quick, no waiting. When you turn on the device, it's ready to use in no time. Accessories. I have a list of accessories that's included in the box, a USB cable, and starting from January of next year, we'll be adding an HDMI cable, which we found very useful when including it for the Explore 8. So I have decided to include it for the Explore 5. Cleaning cloth, lanyard, and a polyurethane carrying case. Magnification values from 2x to 22x, and contrast colors, you have more than 16 options. Key features for the Explore 8, intuitive controls. All the buttons are below the screens to ease of use, so have an easier time to use the buttons, and they're placed where your thumbs are. Image quality, true vivid colors and edge enhancement, polarized LEDs, and so less reflection when you're trying to view glossy paper. A bigger screen, 8-inch, which translates to 30% more viewing area compared to a 7-inch. So that's a very nice advantage over the competition. Touchscreen, simplicity of use, same gestures as an iPad or a smartphone. And again, a quick startup time. The device is ready to go at any time you are. two separate cameras, one for reading and one for distance viewing. They're both 28 megapixels, a very good resolution cameras for both of them. And the switching is done automatically by software when you toggle the stands, which is the next key feature. Nice sturdy reading stands. When folded, you're using the distance viewing. When unfolded, you're using the close-up or the reading camera. And like I said, the camera switches automatically when the stand is folded or unfolded. Portable. Again, it's very lightweight, and it's very comparable to a 7-inch competition. Accessories, C-type USB cable. What is very nice about the C-type USB cable is that it's reversible, so you can connect it any way you want. There's no upside down or upside right sense to it, so you can there's no mistaking how to connect the USB cable to the device. An HDMI cable to connect to a large screen, protective membrane, cleaning cloth, and a polyurethane carrying case. Quick USB charging, also the C-type USB charging capability, meaning that the charging time is a lot less than our competition because of the C-type USB. Contrast colors, again, the 16 colors, the same 16 contrast colors that we offer the Explorer 5, we offer also on the Explorer 8. So I'm going to switch to my webcam, and we'll do a hands-on of the Explorer 8. There we go. So we have our two devices, the Explorer 8 and the Explorer 5. I'm going to show you, first of all, we're going to just run through the Explorer 8, and then we'll see the Explorer 5. So as you can see, the Explorer 8 is a 8-inch touchscreen. On the left-hand side, you have a couple of ports, the USB C-type connector, the HDMI port, the power on button, and on top of the device, you have the capture button, which is used for a short press. It's for to freeze the image, and a long press will save the image to the memory, the internal memory. Buttons at the bottom of the screen, where your thumbs are, so very easy to use, very intuitive. And if I turn the device around, we have 6 LEDs with a polarized lens on top for glossy paper. And we have the two cameras, one for the reading position and one for the distance position. So to start using the device, you just have to unfold the stand and you're ready to start reading a document. To zoom in, you can pinch and zoom, or you can use the buttons, the plus or the minus buttons, to zoom in or out. The middle button in the center is the orange button here is to change the contrast. So you can have different colors that have been set on this button. You can have as many options that you'd like to set on this button, and it loops around those preferred colors for you. If you press and hold on the button, you'll go in the only setup menu that you have on the device, and the first thing you have on the in the menu is a gallery. So over here, my gallery is empty, but if I would have taken a picture, my picture would be in the gallery. We'll see it later. If I do I come back to live, and I can use the capture button, press and hold, and it's going to save it to my device, as you notice, and we'll go back to my gallery, and my picture is in my gallery. So I can start zooming in the picture, and also in the picture I can change the contrast colors as I wish in the picture. So if I come back, what's new in 1.1 in the autofocus? We added an option, a manual option. So when you do a distance viewing, you can have it as unlock, which is our automatic mode. You can have a lock mode, so meaning that the focus is going to be locked to a specific height. And you have a manual mode where you can point where you want the autofocus. So let's try here. The first thing we're going to try is unlock. So we're going to come back to our live. And if I want to do some distance, I just have to close the stand, and I'm in distance mode. Now in unlock option for distance viewing, the autofocus is going to be done automatically for you. But if ever the autofocus is not done correctly, you can just touch the screen and it's going to redo an autofocus for you. And you can do that as many times as you want. So you have control over it. It's not fully automated, but it could be if you don't press on the touch screen. And again, in distance, you can change the color contrast, and you have the same color contrast that you have for reading options. You can also take a picture either by pressing and holding on the touch screen, or you can use the capture button here. Press and hold the capture button to take a picture and save it to the gallery, or you can just do a short click on it and it will do a freeze of that image. So when you have a freeze of the image, you can use that image without pointing your camera to the object you just viewed, and you can use the pinch and zoom or the plus and minus buttons to zoom in or zoom out of the frozen image. You can also use your finger in order to pan once you've zoomed in your image freeze. You can use your finger to pan through the image. You can also change the contrast if you'd like on that frozen image. And if you want to keep it, you press and hold the capture button and it's going to save it to your gallery. If you don't want that, you can just hit the back button and you're back to My Live mode. So let's try our new mode, which is the manual mode. So if I select the manual mode and I'm in distance viewing, you can the focus is not going to redo itself. You can select where you want the focus to be done. So if you have an object in front, I can select where that my focus I want my focus. So if I'm in front of a if I'm in a classroom and I'd like to see the whiteboard instead of the teacher, I can click on the whiteboard where I want the autofocus to be done, and it's going to stay there. And as you can see, there's a dot that appears on the screen, which follows your color scheme, and it's going to tell you where you have selected the autofocus. It's as simple as that. I can use the pinch and zoom or the plus or minus buttons to zoom in or out, and then use my finger on the touchscreen to do my focus manually. So this is a very nice feature. Also in distance viewing, what we have added is the option of having the LEDs turn on. So how do you turn on the LEDs for distance viewing? You press and hold the plus and the minus button, and this is going to turn on the lights for you. And this in low light conditions could be very useful to see what you have, let's say, on a menu or something like that in low light conditions. As you can see, the image is not perfect with the lights on. I'm just going to close them here, and I'm going to explain why. Is that the LEDs are at an angle, as you can see. The LEDs were really designed to be used for reading in the reading position. So by offering this option of turning on the LEDs at distance viewing, you will have the LEDs won't be shining on all of the screen, but you can still use it, and it could help somebody that is in a situation where light conditions are very low. So I'm going to turn off the lights. I'm just going to finish my tour of the option menus here. You can scroll down with your finger. You can adjust the brightness of the screen. The touch screen, you can activate specific gestures. The auto shut off, you can set different times for your auto shut off. preferred zoom. This preferred zoom is going to be the zoom you prefer when starting the device. So if I take, if I have 3 here, and I come back to my live mode, this 3 is going to appear when I'm gonna turn on my device. Each time I turn on the device, I'm set to 3x automatically. Contrast. I can select my preferred contrast. What I'd like my menus to be, my preferred contrast for my live streaming. I can use previous, which is going to keep the previous color contrast that I have selected, colors, and I have a couple of selections here, 16 in all. The menus, the contrast I'd like to see my menus, so I can change and can select any contrast that I like. Enable contrast, these are going to be the contrasts that are going to be looping on this button here when you're in live mode. So right now I have 4 selected, but you can have as many as you like. If you'd like to have 16 on the button, you can select all 16. But usually 4 or even 2 is a preferred way to do it. If I come back to my menu, you have the options of lines and blinds. So you can select if you'd like to have a line or blind viewing. So if I select blind and I come back to my live mode, I have my blind selected. Same goes for the line. I'm just going to turn it off for now. Lights on or off, you can have them automatically on or off, or even at low position. You can change the text size. So you have 3 different text size: small, medium, and large. The display frequency, depending where you are in the world, you guys you'll be using 50 Hertz most probably. You can delete everything that's inside your gallery, or you can restore the factory defaults on the device. And the About menu is where all these software versions are stored or displayed. I'm going to come back to colors. There we go. Yes, so what I'd like to show you also in 1.1, we've worked a lot on the image quality at high magnification. So if I zoom in and I change to a contrast color, before what we had is that the edges of the letters used to be jumping around. So you'd have a movement on the edges of the letters. Now we have significantly reduced that effect. So you don't see as much moving, which is really better for visually impaired users. Also, when you're in the contrast color, enhanced color, we have worked a lot on the panning of a text. So before, when I was moving at I'd say a quick reading speed like this, you would see the text appear and disappear on the screen, and now you don't. You see it a lot less. You have to go really quickly, which is humanly impossible to read at that speed when you. But this we have improved significantly on this new version of the explorē 8. So this is a refresher course of the explorē 8 with all the new features of 1.1. We're going to take a look at what's new on the explorē 5. So on the explorē 5, what we have worked on is really the image quality. Again, we have worked on the edges of the characters at high magnification and at contrast colors. So I'm going to choose a contrast color, and we can zoom in. And again, the same effect we had previously, little movement around the edges of the letters, which we reduced dramatically. And one major improvement that we did is that when we were in contrast colors before, and we used to zoom out, we would see like a hollow around the edges of the image. Now you don't. This is called a lens effect. And this is what we worked on a lot. And by increasing the LEDs, the intensity of the lights underneath, and adjusting a couple of parameters in the image quality, we were able to get that lens effect around the edges gone on the picture. So that's a very good improvement. So good. So this is very nice. We have a very nice version that we have just released. We're going to release it actually this afternoon. So you'll be receiving an email, an e-blast with all the new features, listing all the new features. Just going to be something like this. I'll show you the e-blast that you'll receive. But basically, this is going to be the e-blast that's going to be sent this afternoon, my time. So later on in the afternoon for you guys, explaining the new stuff that's on the Explore 5 and the new stuff of the Explore 8. And you'll have also a link here to update your devices. Please click here and follow this procedure. So if I click here, I made a little procedure that we can go through live for you that tells you how to in 5 steps how to update or upgrade your devices. It's very simple. Also in this link, I'll be adding a link to where to download the files, the update files. I'll have one for the Explore 5 and the Explore 8. So you just have to click on it, download the version onto your PC. And what you want to do, I'm going to use the Explore 8. It's going to be the same procedure for the Explore 8 and the Explore 5. But I'll use, for my example, I'll use the Explore 8. I'm just going to find my USB cable. And what you want to do is that you'd want to connect using your USB cable, connect it to the PC where you have downloaded your updated your file. So I'll connect my device to my PC. You see PC connected. And when you see PC connected, you'll have a pop-up window. So here in my Explore 5, I have my window that just popped up which gives me the root of my device, and it's called Explore 5. So what you want to do is that you go to your downloads or wherever you have downloaded your new version, and I'm going to go in Explore 5, and I have a couple here, but basically you take your .brn file, you do a copy, and you come and paste it in your Explore 5 root of the device. There we go. And once you're done, you disconnect your device from your computer, and your pop-up window is going to disappear, and you just turn on the device with the power button. Now it's going to say my update failed because I'm trying to go back in a version. I don't. Mine is already updated, but you saw the image updating software. Once that's done, you'll go back to a live mode. So that's for the update procedure. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. It's 5 little steps. Like I said, it's going to be included in the email that's going to be sent later on today. I had some requests from our reps here they'd like to share a couple of stories with you guys about the Explore 8, and if you'd like also to share a couple of stories that you guys had, you're welcome to share the stories also. So I have here with me David Goodman that I could unmute here, and I also have Pedro Paulson, which I can also unmute. So you guys, if you'd like to share a couple of things with us, you're very welcome.
I actually didn't have anything to share with you at the moment, but I think David might have. You there, David?
Yes, hello.
Hello, David.
Hi. Yeah, so really it was just about the feedback of the products, because I've been on the road now for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I've been trialing the beta versions. And just to say really that even with our key accounts where we've had a lot of success with the 5 and the 8 as well, since its launch in September, the difference in this software has been really, it's really been quite noticeable. We've had a lot of very favorable comments, and particularly, I think, Eric, about the when you're moving across the page, the consistency of the image, that we're not getting the ghosting, and really is, I think, really a market leader now in terms of the quality of the image as you move across. And also when you do have the lights on, it's a real advantage in the dull winter days when you're actually zooming in at, as I say, a scene. So you're looking at a whiteboard or some posters on a wall when you're holding the tablet out in front of you. It makes a huge difference. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased. And as I say, we've had some very nice feedback from people.
Well, thank you, David.
So thank you, Eric.
So I'm open for questions if you guys have any questions for me. I'm gonna wait for you guys to get unshy here, but while we're doing that, in my PowerPoint presentation, I had the little procedure that we just followed to update the devices. And also, I'll be making available some support material, which was already published when we launched the two products. But basically, for now, it's on a Google Drive, but we're working hard with the website team to include them on the website. Somewhere on the website would be more accessible for you guys. But I have all you guys' emails, so I'll be sending out these links to you guys and the PowerPoint presentation, so you have the links. So what you'll have in these Google Drives is the presentation, the user guide, data specification sheet, frequently asked questions, competition chart, and the brochure, and also the marketing videos for each of the products. And I'd like to finish also, I like this slide here. I took a couple of products, mainstream products, our competition, and just took an image, a color, with a lot of color, with fruits and vegetables on it. And this image really speaks for itself compared to the competition in image quality. So I really like this this slide. So I have no questions. So that went well. You can use the chat to chat me a question.
Eric, I just wanted to say well done, great presentation, and like David was saying, I think it had some great feedback from the market on this product. It's really has taken a lot of the markets we've gone into by storm. I think the distance viewing is excellent on it now, and as David said, the movement over the text is brilliant. So really, it's good to have a refresher on this. And for those of you who've listened today, thank you very much. And I think it would be really great to be able to have this recorded and get it out to other people who would like to just have a bit of a refresher on the product.
I will be sharing the recordings of this webinar, and also I'll put it on the our YouTube channel also. So I'll be sharing that for you in a couple of days. So thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much, Pedro, and David, to be sharing your experience and with the new version. And if you have any questions, don't be shy. Contact your reps. Contact myself if you'd like. You can respond to the email that I'll be sending you for the recordings and the support materials. So don't be shy. Any questions or feedback are very welcome. And I'm really listening to you guys. So without your feedbacks, we cannot improve the product. And without your success stories or your failure stories, well, I'm out of a job, really. So please keep them coming. And you have a nice rest of the day. And I'll be starting my day. It's 9 o'clock here in Montreal. So thank you very much, guys. And I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.